Let's take you back to Pretoria, where EFF leader Julius Malema is speaking.
Organized organization. Every city in South Africa, including the smallest town, has got fighters today on the streets saying enough is enough with load shedding, enough is enough with Ramaphosa in office. Today alone, we cancelled load shedding. Scientifically, Eskom is saying to you, the big users of electricity are not using it today, and there is sufficient electricity. Therefore, we want to load shedding today. Thanks to the EFF, you have missed electricity. You don't even know what to do with it. For sure, you light the heater and the fan at the same time. That's how much electricity you have now because of the EFF.
Mr. Malema, just on this issue of electricity, you speak about how big business is the biggest consumer of electricity. Going forward, what is going to be the game plan of your party in making sure that there is energy security and energy availability in all 84 generating units of the power utility Eskom, which is something that the Minister of Electricity, Dr. Kgosientsho Ramokgopa, has been speaking about, and the Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy, Samson Mantashe?
We need to service that infrastructure. That's what government must do. We support the mixed energy. As you introduce the IPPs, as you introduce nuclear, as you introduce all types solar and all of that, let the current existing infrastructure be looked after. Maintain it, make sure it produces sufficient electricity so that by the time you introduce this other alternative means, which the EFF does not support, by the way, privatization of those power producers, Eskom itself can introduce alternative generation method, which are a replacement of coal, and that's what the EFF believes. But with the ANC in government and with Cyril in office, that will never happen, because capitalism works in this way. You must make that which works not to work, so that when you introduce privatization, everybody is fed up and says perhaps this is the only method we need to follow, and that's exactly what they are doing.
Mr. Malema, the repo rate is going up again next week, we're hearing. I suppose this is part and parcel of what you are fighting.
That's what we're fighting for. The banks declaring so much profit, yet our people are suffering. The increase of this repo rate has been a benefit to the banks. It has actually put our people in more and more debt. And those who used to afford the most affordable houses, for instance, can no longer afford because of this repo rate, which has been going up without taking into consideration the conditions within which our people are living in, with so much unemployment, with so many people losing their jobs. You got a bond at the point when you had a job and you can still have, that time you were affording. Now you can't afford. You lost your job. And as you hustle to pay this bond, the repo rate keeps on going up.
Mr. Malema, when you announced the shutdown, you made a call for the entire society to join you. When the EFF started serving notices to companies, it was said that you were warning them that if they don't close, they would be looted. What do you think of the way that you informed society about your shutdown? Do you think that turned off most of the society from joining your shutdown? You think it could have been bigger if you didn't do that?
During apartheid, the struggle activities have been smaller than this. There's never been these big gatherings except what we experience, which we're celebrating tomorrow, and 76 and so forth. But the struggle has always been there and has been conducted by very few people. The struggle has never been a festival of a lot of people, because those who advance struggle are the advanced detachment of society. It's not no ordinary people. So let me give you an example. Where you come from in your township or your suburb. Let's talk township because struggle was waged there. If you are to count, and if we turn these mics, me and you, and I interview you, how many struggle veterans are there in your township? You can't go past 10 fingers. Because it has never been that everybody there, they were characterized the way we are being characterized ourselves during the struggle. That no, these ones are troublemakers, these are terrorists, they're the disruptors. I've been giving you an example that during the international campaign for the isolation of South Africa through sanctions against apartheid, Mangosuthu Buthelezi and others went around the world saying no, apartheid must not be put under sanctions because the South African situation is dire as is now, and if you put it under sanctions, it will be worse. So to get these numbers in a struggle where buses have been told you must not go to the EFF. You know what I discover? Santaco, where I met them, is a building of the Department of Transport. That's at their offices on the ground floor. What do I discover? I discover that Santaco actually gets subsidy from the state, which makes it some sort of a parastatal, an entity of the state. So then all of that has been told, don't cooperate with these people. And with so much pressure like that, you still come out like this and you want to complain. No, that is becoming a political spoiled brat. This is more than enough under these conditions.
Mr. Malema, on the issue pertaining...
another journalist.
Mr. Malema, if I may ask, what was the decision behind the choice of coming to the presidential guest house here today? And I must commend you for the good exercise you gave us as journalists today.
Thank you very much. This is our house. Why should we always go to the Union building? There's no a definition or method that says if you march against the president, you must go to the Union building. This is our house. If we're dealing with a polite man with mannerism, he should be inviting us for supper in our house, because this is our house. But you know what? The police tell me the guy doesn't even stay here. He stays at his private residences. Money gets spent on this house every month, and the man is not here. To money on workers that work here, money on food that is here, water and electricity that we feed Tshwane municipality for the man who doesn't stay in this house. So we are also bringing to the attention of our people that actually there is a presidential house. Masiti Puma Ramaphosa, we don't only mean the Union building, we also mean Puma from our house, literally, leave. And that's why we brought this house to the attention of the nation. It's part of political education. Because many of you, by the way, including you say I gave you a good exercise as journalist. I also gave you a good education. You never knew direction to the president's house. I educated you. Today you know. So thanks to the EFF.
People who didn't join the shutdown, or those that were hesitant.
It's their right. It's their right. It has always been like that. There will always be those who join. There will always be those who don't join. I mean, guys, we have traveled this road together. When we started saying President Zuma must go, how many people were there?
All right, our reporter Samgele Masego is monitoring that engagement with the media there by EFF leader Julius Malema, among others, talking about, of course, claiming the fact that, the credit must go to the EFF, as he says, when it comes to rolling blackouts. And then he also talks about, of course, claiming that the Santaco, remember we had them here on the show last week, he claims that they're operating from the building of the Department of Transport. And of course, there's quite a lot of claims that have come out of that particular engagement, including some of what he said earlier on.